Let us see chapter 5. And this chapter revolves around the rest of Sunday morning, following Tom's schooling, specifically with the morning sermon. The people of the whole town attended the session. Tom Sawyer, Aunt Polly, Sid, Mary, his cousin, the widow Douglas, the neighbor, Mayor, Mrs. Ward, Lawyer Riverson, and variety of all the other characters and nameless characters such as town bell, matrons, and young clerks. See how the people of the St. Petersburg follow the rules laid in that church. We have to appreciate it. That's what Mark Twain has beautifully illustrated. All the people in the town attended the session. The church is bustling with the noise. As the minister begins his hymn, he praised the God. Hallelujah. Like that, he praised the God and he started his sermon speech. And Mark Twain here remarked that there was never a church choir that was not ill-bred. Which was not ill-bred means which is well-bred, he says. And after the hymn, they all read the notices of meetings and societies. The minister begins a prayer that seems excessive. Mark Twain puts it as a good and generous prayer. The prayer pleads for the church. First, they prayed for the children of the church. Then they prayed for the strait to the president. Then they prayed for the poor sailors to the Oriental despotism. And they continued on this manner until a final amen, like that they concluded it. Ellarukkum prayer pandranga. So much like the prayer, the remainder of the church is hardly continued by Tom Sawyer, who counts the pages. Okay, he just rustles the pages. He just when the minister addressed the audience in the church, Tom Sawyer counts the pages of the sermon, but fails to listen to any of it. This little boy is a mischievous boy, so he did not listen anything, whatever he spoke, whatever the minister spoke. And his attention also focuses on the antics of a poodle. So Tom's attention changes. He focused on the antics of a poodle playing with the beetle, just a bug which arrives there. So he is watching that scene, and he is also watching a dog, the bugs. Tom's attention changed. So the poodle eventually sits on the beetle also and disrupts the sermon. So what happened? Unfortunately, all the attendees in the church, they began to laugh. They began to laugh. Okay. So that disrupts, there is a disruption, disrupts the sermon with its distressful howling and barking, bringing the entire congregation to stifle the laughter. And எல்லாரும் பயங்கரமா சிரிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டாங்க. இங்கே அங்கேயுமா அந்த bug which sits here and there, the dog barking and the howling. So entire scene, it became chaos, utter chaos, confusion. Okay. So after this chaotic disruption, the sermon is continued again, and the Sunday services comes to an end. So this is what the chapter 5 ends. Let us see the analysis of chapter 5. Mark Twain has beautifully focused the centrality of the church in the town of St. Peter's, and it is also satirized by him, but I don't want to explain that meaning. And so on Sunday morning, all of the town's respected people attend the church. It is as much a social function. It is not like not only like a religious one, but it is like a social function, and it becomes an archetypal symbol of town life also. The subject of minister's sermon is by no means given any significance, any importance. Somewhat the people were bored. He said, instead, Mark Twain focused on his speech and mannerism. So his speech is monotonous. It is not interesting. That's what Mark Twain says in this chapter. And in this chapter 5 also, we could see the attendees of the church are not concentrating fully on religious things. They just paid attention to the antics of Pinchbuck. Then they do not give importance to the speech from the pulpit, the raised platform. That's what pulpit we call, altar, pulpit, we say. When the church is suffocating with the suppressed laughter, Mark Twain describes it as unholy mirth. Mirth means happiness. He described it as unholy mirth. Okay. So this dichotomy between the serious and the playful things are described by Mark Twain.